Hello everybody, I hope everybody's doing okay. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, glad to see you. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about smart devices, smart homes. It seems to be a trend nowadays. Some people like them, some people don't, and that's okay either way. I happen to like them. I've got several smart home devices in my home, and I really want to focus on one of them. But just to give you an idea, I have an alarm system that I can control with my smart phone, lights, door locks, and all kinds of things like that, and cameras. And of course, when you're building a smart home, you want all this stuff to work together. And you want it to work well. So far, everything that I've put together, and I started out with this and started with some switches and some light bulbs. And of course, they were all of different brands. So I had to use an app to control one thing, another app to control another thing. And I always thought it would be good, or a better experience, if all these things could be controlled by one app. So that's been kind of my goal over the past few years with the smart home technology, is when I see a need for something or other, I research it and find out which devices is out there that I can use with one app. So far, I've had the best luck with either with the Amazon Echo device or Apple HomeKit, and I want to lean towards Apple HomeKit. I like the way the app looks, the way the app works, various things about that I like. So that's kind of what I've been looking for when I see a need for a smart home device. Recently, probably back in January, it's now March, I ran across a ceiling fan that was compatible with, they advertised it as being compatible with Google Home, Amazon Echo, she that shall not be named, for the sake of not setting off your Echo device. That's what I'm going to call her. And also Apple HomeKit. So, that kind of got my attention. The fan is made by Hunter Fan Company, and I've had experience with Hunter ceiling fans, normal ceiling fans, for quite some time, and I've never really had a problem with them. So I thought, let's give it a try. They had it on sale. I couldn't find it locally, so I had to order it from hunterfan.com. Like I said, they had it on sale. A good price. So I thought, well, why not? We'll just give it a whirl. Got it in. It was the Areodyne model. It wasn't expensive. In fact, at the time they had it on sale, a good quality normal ceiling fan would come very close to matching the price they had this one on sale for. The box was in good shape. Everything looked good. Installation was pretty straightforward. It's 5 blades, 52-inch. The blades go in slots. And the only problem that I had was that 2 of the screws for one of the blades wouldn't screw into the motor where the blade mounts to the motor. I had to retap those to get the screws to fit. So there was a little bit of a quality control issue there. I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to it at the time. Got it all put together, got power turned on to it, downloaded the app, got it all set up. It was working. 10 minutes later, it stops working. Now it comes with a remote control. The remote control would work. I could turn the light on, turn the light off, dim the light, brighten the light, turn the fan on, set the speed. It has 4 speeds. I could switch between the 4 speeds with the remote. All that worked fine with the remote. But I could not get any of my Echo devices to turn the fan or light on. Neither would HomeKit. In fact, HomeKit, when you look, if you're familiar with it, it shows devices as a tile, a square tile, has the name of the device and its status. It would say no response. Now this is a Wi-Fi fan, so it sends its signals across the network via Wi-Fi. Knowing that, and I'm a networking kind of guy, I got a little involved with the network. Everything seemed to be in order. So I was trying to remember what I did. This was back in January. This was 3 months ago, so I'm having to recall all that. I think I deleted the fan out of the app and re-added it, and it started working again. And it stayed that way for, I want to say, the better part of the rest of that month. It was later in January, it happened again. And it happened that there was, I can't remember if there was a storm that came through or something. Something knocked the power out for a few minutes. And when the power came back up, it lost its connection to any of those Echoes, Google Homes, Apple HomeKit, all over again. And at that point, I couldn't get it back. It would not come back. You know, I could still use the remote, but I couldn't get it to come back. Now, in my home with smart devices, if it's like a lamp or a light or something like that, but there's a light switch, there's a good chance that somebody's going to come along and turn that switch off. So at that point, the smart device becomes very dumb. So in this case, what I did was to buy a blank light switch cover and take out the light switch and wire it straight where it couldn't be turned on or off at where that switch was. So I did that, put the cover plate on, and so I think I took the cover plate off, disconnected the electricity to the fan, waited about a minute or so, and reconnected the electricity, and it came back up to where everything was working again. To try to make this short and not such a long video, at a certain point I started talking to Hunter Fan's technical support. They had me check the firmware that was on the fan. They said, yeah, that's an older firmware. It needs to be updated to a test firmware. So they were blaming it on the firmware. And once we got to a point to where the fan was back online, they could see the fan. They pushed a firmware update to it. It took it, I checked it, verified it. It did receive the new firmware, and it stayed online for the better part of a day. Now, my contact with their technical support started out as a phone call and ended up being email, which I'm not very fond of because a lot gets lost in translation of texts and emails and things. But anyways, I contacted them back. I said, hey, it's doing it again. And it's been that way for the better part, it was that way for the better part of a month. And then about mid to later February, with no contact from Hunter Fan's technical support team. I was at work. I opened up the home app to turn something on. I can't remember what it was. And I noticed that fan was online. So I checked, and there had been another firmware update. And I don't know how that happened. The thing had been offline for a better part of a month. So it stayed online for a week. I thought it was fixed. Well, then another thunderstorm, a thunderstorm actually did roll through, and the power went out for about 2 or 3 minutes, came back on. And the thing's been offline since, and it hasn't come back up unless I delete the fan and reconfigure it and set it back up all over again, or disconnect it from the power and reconnect the power after about a minute. And it'll stay up for about 10 minutes, and that's it. I think actually last night I had it online for about the better part of a couple hours, and that's the longest I've seen it stay online, and then it went no response. And I worked with their technical support back and forth, to the point to where I'm starting to think that maybe this fan is just defective. I've talked to other people online, and there's been a couple that I've talked to that had the same problem I did, that I'm experiencing. Other people say, hey, I've got 4 of these fans, and they're all working great since day one. So that kind of leads me to think maybe I've got a defective one. I don't know, but it's been 3 months with no stable reliability on why I purchased this fan in the first place. I did send them an email this morning asking if there's anything pertinent to my case with this fan, and if there's not, I'd like to request a new fan. I mean, I don't care if I have to ship this one back and they send me another one, or whatever they want to do. I kind of want to try a different fan. I asked them about that once before, and it kind of got ignored. So I'm questioning their technical support team at this point as well. And it's been probably a week since I've heard anything from them. The last time I got anything from them, they were suggesting just to delete it and re-add it. Yeah, and that does work for a very short period of time, about 10 minutes, and it goes back to no response from the voice platforms. It's not a whole lot of money, but with the way things are going today with gas prices, grocery prices, and things like that, it's a little bit of money for me, and plus my time and effort to try to make this thing work. I don't think the normal person who isn't a troubleshooter would spend this much time trying to get to the bottom of this. But at any rate, all the rest of my devices that I have work fine. I have no problem from them. I've got the thermostat, it works great. It has since I've had it. The door lock works good. Now I've been through a couple of door locks, and that's just, I'll go ahead and say the first one that I had, the smart lock that I had, was August. They work okay. The last one I had, and I still have it, I just have it put up since I'm trying this other lock. It worked great, never really had a problem out of it. Now there are other people that will tell you the exact opposite with August stuff. They had nothing but problems with theirs. But mine worked fine. Anytime that any function that it was set to do, it would do, and do it reliably. The door lock I'm using now is a lock made by a company called Level. Level bolt is the lock that it is. It's a Bluetooth lock that works only by Bluetooth. But if you have an Apple TV or any kind of Apple hub, it will connect by Bluetooth to that, and then you can control the lock remotely and things of that nature. It works good. I think it's a step behind August, but I got this lock sent to me to test, and I do like it. I like the idea behind it. What it's meant for, it works okay. They just need to, and they're getting there. They just need a little bit more time to develop this lock to have it where it should be. I've got a security system. It works great. All the devices on it. And the thing of that is, it's not supposed to be compatible with Apple's HomeKit, but there is ways around that, and I'm incorporating that to do the one app rules them all kind of thing, and it works really well. Now, with that said, the fan works great as just a regular fan. And if you're thinking about one of these, keep in mind that your mileage may vary. You may have a really good experience with one, or you may have an experience like mine. For me, I cannot recommend Hunter Simple Connect fans for that reason that I'm experiencing. But like I said, your mileage may vary. You may have a really good experience with one. But it's a chance you got to take. From the people that I've talked to, it's about a 50-50 shot. It could be, I don't know where the problem is, and I'm a networking guy and I can't figure it out. It could be a networking problem. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be. Anyways. So, with that, I'm going to cut the video off here. I'm already almost 18 minutes, so I hope everybody has a good day and that you're blessed. See y'all.